Becky from PowerToolsWithThread.com. I have found the cutest quilt store in Durant, Oklahoma. This is Lulu and Hazel's quilt shop, and we've got everybody here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but first of all, we want to say hi to Ruthie, right?
Yes.
Ruthie's the shop dog, and she is just precious. She's a purebred boxer, and she's adorable. So, hey, why don't you guys tell everybody who you are and just say hi.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm the Lulu part of the Lulu and Hazel Quilt Shop here in Durant, Oklahoma, and you might be familiar with our show on Monday mornings on Facebook at 9:30, and this is...
I'm Mom, Lynn.
I'm Charity. I'm the Hazel part of the Lulu and Hazel Quilt Shop.
I'm Diane.
I'm Gina Crisp, and I'm the aunt of these girls and Lynn's sister.
And why don't you give an introduction?
So this is James, our cameraman from the morning show. We usually don't put him on camera, and he's semi-retired from the camera job, but he is very much still behind the scenes helping us out all the time. He's our cousin.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to going around the store with you guys.
Yeah.
I want to sit and visit with you all a little bit and find out how and why this came to be. Okay? All right. I look forward to it. So I wanted to sit and ask you guys, so you said you have a car shop?
We are a used car dealer. When I was 3.5, Dad started our Banks Motor Company, our used car dealership.
Okay.
And so
I
we
saw
grew
the
up.
sign on top.
Yes.
And I was like, there's a car dealership somewhere.
Yeah. We grew
Okay.
up on a car lot, and we moved to this location in 2002.
2002, yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
20 years in April we'll have been in this location.
Yes.
So
Okay.
in March, the car business will have been in business 40 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, our parents started in
so
1982.
quilting was my hobby.
Okay.
And really, I had started out garment sewing, and that's what I was really passionate about.
Right.
And then I think it was 2008, I just on a whim took a quilting class just because I wanted to make a quilt.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how I got into it. And I met a really neat lady who taught me, and I just enjoyed being at the shop and just talking with the ladies. And so
That is so fun.
I took it way further than I ever planned on taking it, you know.
So you had a little bit of a bite of an entrepreneur
Yes.
to say, hey, this is something I really want to spend 8 hours a day doing?
Well, it actually developed out of necessity. The shop in town closed down in 15 unexpectedly, and we were all devastated.
Right.
And, you know, we lost our community there. I would go just stop in just to see what was
Sure.
going on, you know. And I didn't really have a connection to any of those ladies in any other way in my
Right.
regular life. And then we're also, at the time, we were 45 minutes away from any other quilt shop, so I couldn't get anything done.
Right. So the closest one is down in Texas?
Yes,
Okay.
or Ardmore, Oklahoma. At
Okay.
the time, we've got one closer now. So this building is really long, and there's a lot of little rooms, and my dad did antiques on the side.
Okay.
So it was all storage for his antiques that he sold on eBay. But he was getting out of that, and so I said, hey, I got this crazy idea. Could we like clean those rooms out and just put a little quilt shop? I just want to visit with my friends. I want to have a little bit of materials for myself.
Sure.
And just do a little shop. And I'm just thinking, I'll just pop back there occasionally and sell some rotary blades or thread, you know. And so I talked to Charity about it, and she was like, this is kind of weird.
She
but-
tells me this, and I said, so, okay, what are we going to call this? And she said, I'm going to call it Lulu and Hazel. I want to name it after the dogs. And I was like, okay. So we're going to put a quilt shop in the back of our car lot and name it after our dogs. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So, you know, it just got inspired. And so he actually said, okay, well, I'll make you a deal. If you will clean those rooms up, sell all that stuff, you can have whatever you make off
He's
of
a
it
smart man.
to start your
So
shop.
he didn't have to do that.
Right,
Yes.
yes. We did all the work, yes.
So we did that, and we kind of surprised him because we ended up getting $3,500 out of the stuff, and he didn't think it was worth really anything.
Oh.
He didn't know for sure.
Yes, he had sold
Right.
all the good stuff. He had
Yeah.
tried to, you know, pay someone to take it away,
Right.
and so anyway, that's kind of how it started. And then when we started, which was I filed the papers May 31st of 2016. I didn't realize it took time to get the product, like sometimes months. So we thought we could just fill up a room. So we sat here with like 7 bolts of fabric for 2 or 3 months.
Yes, we had a couple instances. I think people came in and said, "Why are you telling people you're a quilt shop? You've got 6 bolts of fabric."
Yeah,
Well,
so
we're trying.
it was kind of, we didn't really know what we were doing. And the first time somebody bought something, it was like $15.99. They bought 2, and
We
we
did
were
like a happy dance in the
gosh.
hall when they left.
people bought
That's
stuff.
first
Right?
sale.
Yes, they bought
I
the
know.
most expensive thing we had.
Yeah.
$15.95.
So we were like, nobody's ever gonna buy this stuff, you know. And then it was just, you know, we realized really quickly it was more about the, you know, than the business side of it. I mean, we knew that going in, but the connections that you make to people and the things that you do, the quilts themselves being special, things that aren't heirlooms are important.
The
and-
first time that the ladies saw each other in here that had been regulars down at the old shop downtown, they hugged and they said, "Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in 6 months.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I haven't quilted a thing since
Right.
the old quilt shop
Right.
shut down." And we just realized
It's bigger than
they had
us.
lost
It's-
their community too.
Yeah.
And so they needed a quilt shop to come together
But
at.
then we
I
had
got chills on that. That's so nice.
we had this sort of huge challenge because this is such a small building and the other shop was huge and there were places to meet. So how do we make it fun? How do we keep people connected in such a small space?
Right.
So that's where we started coming up with the games and the challenges and the videos just to kind of keep people involved and coming back.
Awesome.
And so
we didn't have space for people to just hang out here
Right,
all day,
right.
but they could still be a part.
So we wanted it to be fun, and we wanted everybody to also get personal time. You know, not just, oh, boom, boom, go in. So I don't know, the desk back there, sometimes it's like the counseling session. Sometimes you just need to cry. Sometimes it's like a doctor's office. And
Yes.
we always say what happens in the quilt shop stays in the quilt
There you
shop.
go,
know,
yeah.
So anyway, it's
That's
good
great.
personal experience
I
there.
love that. I love that. So, what would you say your inventory is like now? You've got more than 7 bolts of fabric, right?
Yeah, so yeah, quite a bit more. So I told them we're going to go with this just until the seams bust because so we keep between 800 and 1,000 bolts, which is kind of surprising that you can get that in there. We're probably a little low on that right now, being the end of the year. We're probably closer to 700. We're about to find out. We're about to count them, but. Anyway, we try to pack as much into a small space as we possibly can. We stick it in every nook and cranny, so it's kind of fun to just go and dig and rummage through and see what you can find back there.
So, what happened to the car lot? Because this is not a car lot.
So we still are a car lot. This is very unorthodox. So my dad passed unexpectedly in 2019.
Uh-huh.
And I had worked with him for 22 years as a salesman and a wholesale car buyer. And that was something really important to me. That was my day job, you know,
Right.
and this was my hobby. But anyway, so we went straight from that happening to going into the pandemic to going into the most unprecedented time in the car business. We're still doing it. We're just doing it on a smaller scale, really, until the world kind of stabilizes.
Right.
And
So.
it's great. It takes very little space to sell a car, but
Yes.
it takes quite a bit of space to be a quilt shop.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
You wouldn't think. You would
So,
think
yeah.
you need, because you see these ginormous car dealers.
Right,
Yes.
right. But
Right.
it takes very little space. You're actually in the car lot office right now, is where we're doing this interview.
Okay,
so-
just like, because I was like, there's not a lot of quilting stuff around here.
Yeah.
Just like
Okay.
anything too, it's a personal experience for us. So we have all these over almost 40 years customers, this base we've built up here, and so they'll literally come in and say, "Hey, will you find me a car?" And I was like, "Yeah, just give me a little time," you
Right.
know.
So you still do that then?
Yes,
All
yeah.
right. So if you need a car,
There
you're
you
in
go.
Durant, you need to come see these ladies.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And talking about that community, when we lost our dad so unexpectedly, these ladies really stepped in, and I mean, they just got us through.
We
This-
wouldn't have a quilt
this- the
shop
hardest time
if
in
it
our
hadn't
life.
been for them.
That community just completely embraced
Absolutely.
us, and I mean, I don't think we'd be here today if it wasn't for
Right.
them.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
It was a
So
great blessing.
it's good that you had the quilt shop
Yes.
because when the business plan has to do a
Yes.
180 and
Yes.
change completely,
Right.
then now most of your energies go into the quilt shop.
Yeah.
Yes,
Plus,
yeah.
there's no cars now. with the
Yes.
pandemic,
There's
right?
no cars.
So yeah, my husband just ordered. He turned in his 350 at a dealership, a big Ford dealership in San Antonio, and they said 6 to 8 weeks for him to get the 150 because we're not running cows anymore.
Right.
So he said, "Well, I'm going to get a smaller truck," and I said, "Okay, that's fine." So he went in and did all that. They took that right away, and that thing's long gone already.
Yeah.
And now we're without a truck, and he just got an email said it would probably be February now to get that F-150, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, what is going on? And it's the parts and the chips and all that business, right?
It's just,
So
I mean, we're experiencing it in every aspect of the world right now.
yeah, and
but
it seems like everywhere, every lot you go past, there's limited inventory at all.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just a blessing. You had done this to keep the lights on.
Right.
Yes.
And
It really was a godsend all ways around.
Yeah.
I
well,
mean,
that
it
would
just-
be quilting in general. is a
Yeah, it
godsend all the
really,
way
you
around,
know,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
we joke, our dad was always a little uncomfortable. He was like, I'm going to make these ladies that are coming for the quilt shop uncomfortable. A man just sitting up here in this office all day.
But they loved him. They would
love
joke
him,
with
but
him, you know.
It's
when
definitely
he loved him.
a woman's domain up here now.
Yeah.
So talk to me about Lulu and Hazel. Who were they?
So Lulu and Hazel were our dogs. We'd had them for about, I don't know, 3 years or so when we started the business. They were really a big part of our life. We still have Lulu. We lost Hazel unexpectedly just right before the pandemic hit in the first of 2020. So Ruthie, who you've seen, she is playing the part of Hazel now.
You kind of know when you name your shop after two dogs that eventually you're going to
have dogs,
right,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
have to approach that subject.
Yes,
so,
so-
yeah, Ruthie is.
But,
Yeah,
you know, I
Hazel.
don't think it matters whether it's dogs or like Nancy's Notions.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
Things always change. So Missouri Star just bought Nancy's Notions,
Yes.
right? And the love and the employees and the concept of Nancy's is still out there.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to go away.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
she is an icon, or was an icon, is an icon
Yes.
in our industry.
Right.
And I just think that even though now another company has the products, that doesn't change the love for
Right.
Nancy's
Right.
Notions, right?
Yes.
Because you know if you're getting something from them, that's quality and,
Right.
and all
Right.
of that kind of thing. So that just happens.
Yes. Yeah.
I totally understand that. Yeah, naming my business, I was like, I'm gonna try to name it something that somebody else can pick up and
Yes.
run with when I'm too
Yeah.
old to look at on camera anymore.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's what they tell me. They're like, why are we naming it after the dogs? I was like, well, two
'Cause it's
things.
precious.
Yeah, you know, they're a big part of our lives. And then the
Right.
other thing is, Lulu and Hazel, doesn't that sound like two little old ladies
Oh.
sitting around quilting?
Yes.
I mean,
We
you know.
still get asked at least once a week. Now, which one of you are Lulu and which one's Hazel?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, then we explain the whole thing, but that's
Were you girls born and raised here in Durant?
In Bryan County, we went to high school in Durant.
Oh,
This,
yes.
When we were younger, our parents moved our car dealership to town. We were out in the country and went to a country school. So we both graduated from Durant
Yes.
High School.
Yeah,
and so
but-
this is really where we grew up in this town and did things. And,
Right.
and yeah,
Right.
so.
a lot of people don't realize, but they find out really quickly when they've been here. We're actually 8.5 years apart in age.
Wow.
They think we're a lot closer in age
Yeah, I was
than we
going,
are.
are they
Yeah.
We get accused of being twins a lot, but
Yeah.
we're actually 8.5 years. So that's why she was 3 when our parents started the car lot. They just had a car lot my whole life,
right,
you know. So
right.
okay. Yeah, but we
Yeah, I had planned to go either to California or New York to study fashion design.
Okay,
And didn't end up doing that. I ended up studying at the local university costuming.
okay.
And because of that, I actually really got to be a part of Charity's
Yes.
life. Had I left when people normally do, we
Right.
probably wouldn't be
We
as
wouldn't have the
close.
relationship we
And-
have.
It's
Yeah.
amazing how many in the quilting industry actually started in costuming. I've
Yes.
heard that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. So your name is Kristen. I cannot tell you the number. So when we went to Idaho last summer, Kristen, Christine, Christina, Christy, it's amazing. It's like every store I went to,
That's really
there's so many Christies and Christines in the industry.
Yeah.
Every time I come across somebody, it's like, you're kidding. I'm the same
There's a
name.
variation.
Well, good. So this is awesome. I'm looking at a ginormous long arm right here. You've got a gamel.
Yes.
So you guys do long arming.
Yes.
I would guess based on 700 bolts of fabric, that's probably the bread and butter of your business, isn't
Yes,
it? Right.
we do a lot of long arm quilting. That
And-
thing runs pretty solid.
And it's computerized.
Yes.
You don't have a body back there doing this.
Right, it's the gamma
right.
with the Statler stitcher. Now for 3 or 4 years, I did everything free motion by
Okay,
hand, but we upgraded to the gamma with the Statler in
Isn't it wonderful?
2020. Yes,
Yes.
yeah, it's great.
Well, it's the employee that doesn't need
Yes.
vacation or
Right.
health benefits,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
That's right. It does my job for me when
That's
I
right,
plug
yeah.
other holes. So.
That's great. Yeah, and there's a beautiful t-shirt quilt on there right now. So I'll take the camera over there and take a look at that here in a little bit. Okay, so this is definitely a family-owned business. We introduced everybody in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you're either a mom, an aunt, a cousin, sisters, all of
Yes.
that. All right.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, the phone's ringing, so
Yep.
let's take a break. We're going to take a tour around the shop after she gets back. All right. So when I first walk in the shop, this is the front office. This is where Dad used to sit, right? Selling cars.
Yep.
And this is what we see right here when we walk in. So what is this? Mike Banks, that was your dad.
That was Dad for years. Well, to start from the first, Dad had a car, a 67 Plymouth GTX that he was kind of famous for. It was the first car he got when he was 16. And it was real fast. And he got kind of famous in his small town and the surrounding counties for drag racing. And anyway, he lived in a small town, Princeton, Missouri, in North Missouri anyway. So he wrote this book because we urged him to, because for years people would come in and he would tell the stories of the antics him and his school friends got into and the things they did with his car. People would sit here for hours and listen to his stories and just roll and laughing. And we said, Dad, you really need to put this in a book. People will love this.
So these are stories that he did. Is that him on the cover?
That's him and my mom. So they met over the car as well. I think this was the summer of 75.
74 or 75, I can't remember.
And they got married in 76. And so they dated in the car. They left the wedding, left the church in the car. So it was a big part of their life. And he had to sell it because fuel got high when I was a baby. So and I was born in 79. So anyway, he spent years looking for the car, trying to find it again. And what year was it that we found it again?
97, he actually found his exact car.
And so we went through quite a long ordeal. It was years before we got it back, and then it took years to restore it. So right before he passed, he had just got the car restored. We had written the book, and he was going to show it at car shows. And anyway, it's written kind of short story style, so you can read a chapter a night if you want to, and it's kind of all self-contained. So, you know, even though it is my dad, it's a good book, and it's fun to read.
This book is on your Lulu and Hazel
Yes,
website. Okay,
yes.
good. So,
yeah.
any of you car buffs out there, I know there's a lot of men who
Yeah.
watch my channel, and if you are a hot rod fanatic, right?
Muscle cars,
Muscle car.
motorcycles,
Right.
go-karts, all
right.
kinds of stuff.
Cool. So there's something here for the guys too. All
Yeah.
right. So let's go around the shop and take me through.
Okie dokie. So we just got our t-shirts and mugs in. That's fun. I always tell people always ask how they can support quilt shops. They're like, well, I don't quilt. How do I support you guys? I'm like, hey, everybody's going to wear stuff. Everybody drinks coffee.
And I'm going to be wearing my purple shirt.
Yeah. So and, this is one of our favorite things. Last year we were at Buc-ee's in Texas. Everybody loves. And Mom just said, we're getting that.
That's right.
This is our happy place. So everyone says, this is our happy place. And this is our long arm.
So this is Charity.
Yes, this is her domain.
This
her
is
and Jerry.
Charity Part 2, the gamma. Right? That's great.
Love the Statler.
Yeah. All right.
All the dirty work for us.
This is wonderful. I know. I have a long arm with a computer, and I love it.
Yes, it's great.
All right. Very good. I see James back there. Come on out, James. He doesn't want to be in the way on camera.
James actually has an upholstery business. I taught him to sew because we were in college together and he needed another elective, and I said, come take a costuming class with me, and he said no.
So for the car lot, I would bring these cars in from Dallas and fix them, and part of that was usually on the pickup trucks taking the seats apart and getting them re-sewn. So I'd take seats apart and I'd bring them to her, and she'd fix them and I'd put them back on. Well then, she started a quilt shop and got busy, and one day a pickup truck backed up to my front door and they dumped off a console RB, 206 RB. And she said, you're learning this because I don't have time to do it. So that's how I started doing auto upholstery.
That's great. Yeah, that's wonderful. And so are you still doing upholstery?
Yeah, that's I have a upholstery shop here in Durant.
Okay. What's the name of it?
BMC Trim.
BMC Trim. Okay.
Just around the corner here.
All right. So do you take in orders that are shipped to you and you ship them back?
Not really. It's mostly local.
Okay.
People come in
Okay.
and
It's a new business.
truck
Yeah, not that
seats
we
and
wouldn't know.
headlights.
I was gonna say,
sometime
he
in
might.
the future, but
He might. Okay. Well, good. That's great. Yeah, I know.
so you learn. Don't tell a car dealer. Don't ask them what will you and won't you do. What is for sale and what isn't. Because when you're a used car dealer, everything's for sale.
That's right.
From the time we were kids, sometimes we'd pull up, just been at the grocery store, kids, get everything out of the truck, I just sold it. Okay. That's our lives. So.
I love it. Yeah.
All right, so let's go on in through the rest of the shop.
Yeah, this is the Hall of Fame. Because we had such a long walk back to the quilt shop, we decided to decorate it. And we put local ladies' quilts in here to show them off, and then projects that we're working on. This is the break room, and there's always people eating and chatting. And Ruthie,
Hi, baby.
she greets them as they come down the hall. She didn't get them when they came in the door. Lots of fun things here. It's a good way
So pretty.
to show off our projects in our fabric. We like to do things with panels, like to do interesting things with panels. We like quick projects, fun, easy stuff, and so you'll see a
Woman
lot
after
of
my own heart.
stuff like
Yes.
that.
That's great. So this is a good panel pattern right here.
Walkabout is one of our top 10 just great patterns. You can do it in several different sizes. It's easy. It always turns out great. Looks beautiful.
Is this on your website?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
okay.
we do it all the time, different ways. And so Diane, I gave her this panel, and I said, do something with this and Walkabout. I don't even know what we're going to do with it. And so she put this together, and it was super
love the
fast, easy, and so
So these are good if you guys have got those the baby book fabric panels.
Yes, yes.
There's where you can get your individual. So that is a
Yes.
wonderful pattern right there for the soft baby book.
yes, last Christmas we did a nativity baby book where it read the whole story through on the panel, and it was really
Nice.
popular.
I want to get that that pattern.
Yeah, it's
okay.
great.
Notions room.
Yes, this room we do our pre-cuts, we have our thread, we do rulers, so we like gadgets and notions and pre-cuts, and again, being kind of a challenge with a small space to get a lot of different fabrics in here, pre-cuts were just kind of a natural option. We like to have something for everybody, and we try to keep it fun. We are going to expand on our thread. That's one of the things I don't like about having a small space. I need a lot more thread, so we like rulers. I think one of the best investments I make is when I buy rulers. They
Yes.
seem to really elevate my work. And then this was actually our first room. We actually got all of these shelves and then just sat here with no fabric. So this is our blender room, and then if we have, the new collections we'll throw in here, and so we're getting a little bit thin being at the end of the year here. We'll do a big blowout with skinny bolts and stuff next month, and kind of move
Oh, I see
stuff
some
out.
Blossom I'm going to grab.
I love Blossom. It's just a great blender.
It really is. It's one of my favorites.
Do remnants in here, and we've got a little bit of Black Friday stuff kind of set up. And one of the ideas too with being a small shop going in, a lot of the ladies had a lot of theme fabric already, and they needed things to go with it. They needed bindings, backings, borders, and so we thought if we can be really deep on that stuff and then just keep the theme stuff just really fresh and moving through, that might be our best strategy.
Well,
So,
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
that inventory is really important, and you want to come to a shop, you want it to be interesting, and you don't want to see the same thing every time. But that's a challenge for the shop owner, and so we're always working at it and keeping it fresh and moving things through quickly. If we've had it a long time, we just cut that down and send that discount on to the customers and move on. So,
Okay. Oh, here's a cute little table runner pattern.
yeah, that's the new cha-cha pattern. We love that.
That's awesome.
Uses one charm pack. She actually got a couple little placemats with that one charm pack from that pattern to go with it.
That's great.
Then this is just our simple baby quilts that we do. I actually have the Dolly and Me pattern because it's similar, but this is actually our pattern. I don't have it patterned off, but you can use one charm pack, throw some borders on it. If you do embroidery or applique, throw a name on it. If their theme is elephants, put an elephant on it, whatever, you can change it up. Because sometimes it's really difficult to find the right fabric for a nursery.
Right.
In the colors you want and in the theme you want.
And kind of raw edge applique.
Yeah, that
Looks great.
something we just do on our home machine. You know a lot more about that. You can dress that up a lot more. Then this is a Via Rosa pattern. Again, those are fun patterns to do with fat quarters. This is Indigo Garden by Riley Blake. Been doing a lot with Riley Blake stuff lately. It's a lot of fun.
It's one of my favorites.
This room right here is the top two shelves are usually our discount fabric. We have sale stuff on the table. Then we have wide backs and solids and stabilizers and patterns and wool mats and just all the fun little nifty things you can stick in there.
Very nice. You guys got it all.
We usually have baskets around and people can dig through, and I just tell people go crazy, move it around, dig through it, find what you can find.
Oh, that's a beautiful jelly roll rug.
That was done by Vicky. You guys probably heard us talk about her. I call her Virtual Vicky. She's doing a few classes for us online now, and Vicky does a lot of our samples and does a lot of our classes.
It's so flat.
Yes, she's just fantastic. I don't know how she does some of the things she does, but she is amazing. We hang our panels so everyone can kind of look through them, then we have them in baskets and see what we've got.
I might have to get that.
We've got a lot of fun panels. So this is where the magic happens. This is the room.
The cutting room.
People
Yes.
come in here and they're like, this is the room.
Yeah.
So,
This is where we film our Monday show.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Every Monday morning on
And
Facebook
we
Live.
cut and check out and drink coffee and have a
Visit.
blast.
Yeah. So every Monday you guys have a place where you guys just visit.
Yes.
And you just do sales and whatnot, but you just
Yes.
visit, right?
It's like a quilting talk show.
It's just a quilting chat show.
Yes, every Monday morning at 9:30 Central Time on Facebook, our Facebook page, we do just kind of a live talk show, and then about once a month we do a live sale of an evening. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
where you can claim your fabric right on the
Do
page.
you push that out to YouTube at all?
We don't, not right now.
Okay.
No.
You will though. We're talking about it.
Our plans for
Yeah.
2022 are to move over to YouTube. So.
Well, good. Yeah, we've got a lot of people that are not on Facebook.
Right,
We want to
yeah,
be able to
right,
reach
yeah.
them as well.
And we
Yes,
always plan to
yes.
stay something on Facebook. We don't plan to leave Facebook, but we do plan to offer some of our content on
Well,
YouTube
good.
next
Yeah.
year. So
Well, I'll sure watch it. Why not, right? That's great. Okay, well, this is just adorable in here, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very nice. This is it for the store tour. Wow, I feel like I'm in the place of honor here. This is pretty good.
Oh, we're honored to have you.
yes,
Oh, gosh.
absolutely.
Kristen, Charity, this has been a lot of fun, and you guys have an amazing business here.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of the both of you. You're young and entrepreneurs, and it's just amazing what you guys have done, and the gift that you give to Durant and the surrounding area. So, all right, you guys, that's it. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the shop with me, and we will talk to you soon. So, what do I always tell everybody to do? Go sew something! Let me see, Christy. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Oh, she's such a good girl. Yes, she is. Oh, she's so pretty. What a pretty girl.